invest in people in the long term, there has to be a mutual understanding.
Hustle hard. Close mouths don't get fed. Thinking strategically, but acting like a gorilla is the kind of marketing that's small. When it innovates very little, it's highly risk averse. It indicates
I've spent years building companies and teaching leadership, and one lesson keeps getting clearer. The farther a leader gets from the work, the easier it is to make decisions that sound reasonable and fail in reality. A schedule can look clean on a screen. A scorecard can look objective. A customer commitment can sound simple in a meeting. But then the day reaches a driveway, a roof, an equipment room, a job site, or a customer's front yard. The weather changes, a part is missing, the work order is incomplete, the customer needs an answer now, and the person carrying that decision has to make the work safe, right, and professional. That is where leadership gets real. We are entering an era where AI can help with coordination. It can organize schedules, retrieve service history, summarize notes, draft updates, and flag patterns worth a closer look. Those are useful capabilities, but AI cannot fully experience the conditions in which a technician, crew leader, installer, supervisor, or service professional is being asked to perform. That is why I use the phrase field fluency. Field fluency is not a manager pretending to be the best technician in the organization. It is not a photo opportunity in a safety vest. It is the disciplined ability to understand the conditions of the work well enough to make better decisions about people, standards, systems, and priorities. A field fluent leader knows that field performance is never just a personality test. It is a system result. People are working with demands, time pressure, travel, changing conditions, physical effort, customer friction, and incomplete information. They also need resources, sound equipment, accurate job details, training, authority, feedback, and support. That distinction changes the conversation. If someone misses a standard, we do not begin with, what is wrong with this person? We begin with, what was expected, what actually happened, what conditions were present, what was within this person's control, and what, if anything, did our system make harder than it needed to be? That is not an excuse-making exercise. It is how you avoid treating a symptom while the cause keeps producing the same problem. And in field work, safety makes this even more important. Take heat. Risk is not just the number on the thermometer. Workload, humidity, direct sun, airflow, protective equipment, acclimatization, and individual factors all matter. A leader who only sees the daily production number may miss the conditions shaping that number. The point is not that office work matters less. Planning, finance, dispatch, sales, and data all matter. But the field sees whether the pieces fit together or collide. So the leadership question is simple. Are you learning from the place where your promises become performance? In the next segment, I want to show you how field fluency changes accountability without weakening standards. Some leaders hear words like empathy, listening, or psychological safety and worry that accountability is about to disappear. It should not. The standard for safe, reliable, high-quality work must remain clear. Customers deserve professionalism, coworkers deserve reliability, the organization needs follow-through, but accountability detached from conditions becomes arbitrary. It says meet the number, I do not care what made the number difficult. That is not high performance. That is managerial distance. A better approach holds two truths together. People are responsible for the choices they control, and leaders are responsible for the conditions their system creates. Imagine a technician who repeatedly arrives unprepared. Accountability may be appropriate, but before deciding, a capable leader checks the facts. Was the job information accurate? Were the materials available? Was the route realistic? Was the customer promised something without field input? Was the employee trained and authorized for the task? Did the equipment work? Was the standard clear? If the employee had the information, tools, training, authority, and clear expectation, and still chose not to meet the requirement, then follow-through matters. Direct feedback matters, documentation matters, proportionate consequences may matter. But if the organization supplied bad information, inadequate equipment, conflicting priorities, or insufficient preparation, leadership has work to do too. The employee may still need coaching. The system may still need repair. Both can be true. That is what fair accountability looks like. It also means treating field reports as operational input, not automatic proof, not something to dismiss because it is inconvenient. Investigate the reported condition, compare it with the rest of the process, decide what the evidence warrants, then explain the decision. Explanation matters. A decision may not be the answer someone wanted, but people deserve to understand the standard, the process, and the reason. Psychological safety does not mean comfort, agreement, or immunity from standards. It means people can raise a question, report a hazard, or surface a mistake without interpersonal punishment. That matters in customer-facing and safety-sensitive work. Set clear escalation thresholds and give employees the authority to use them. Courtesy still matters, so does standing behind people who follow policy respectfully. Be very careful around attendance, reliability, or fitness for duty concerns. Use observable work facts, the expectation, dates, communication, impact, and established process. Do not speculate about health, diagnosis, motive, or character. For an immediate hazard, stop work and use the required safety escalation process. For medical or disability-related matters, involve the appropriate HR, safety, occupational health, or legal resources under policy and applicable law. A supervisor's intuition is not a diagnosis. So here's the shift. Listening is not the opposite of accountability. Listening helps you distinguish a barrier that needs correction, a support need that belongs in the right confidential process, and a clear standard that still requires follow-through. Now let's turn that idea into a practical operating rhythm. You do not need a complicated initiative to become more field fluent. You need a recurring practice that is designed to learn, act, and close the loop. Start with a work-along, a ride-along, or an operating immersion. The label does not matter nearly as much as the design. Make it recurring, not ceremonial. One visit teaches you that the field exists. Repeated visits reveal patterns, bad handoffs, late information, equipment bottlenecks, unworkable customer promises, and conditions that change the pace of work. A useful starting cadence is 3 or 4 full work cycles or handoffs per manager each year. Treat it as a pilot, not a magic cure. Choose a purpose: a morning launch, route handoff, complex repair, recurring complaint, or heat-exposed task. Ask the crew leader what would make the visit useful rather than disruptive. During the visit, observe the whole cycle. What changed after the schedule was set? Where did materials, approvals, equipment, or customer decisions create rework? What makes a safe, high-quality day easier or harder? What should leadership stop asking people to work around? Do not turn every answer into a promise. Your job is to learn accurately, not to perform agreement. Also, do not turn the visit into a disguised inspection. If you say you are there to understand the work and then use the day primarily to catch errors, people will learn to hide the very conditions you need to know about. Respect the craft. Do only work you are trained, authorized, equipped, and supervised to do. Often the smartest role is to observe, ask, and learn, not to climb, lift, drive, repair, or enter a restricted area just to prove solidarity. After the visit, classify what you learned. Is it a safety issue, staffing, equipment, materials, information quality, route design, training, authority, customer communication, or individual performance? Then build the response loop. Record the barrier, assign an owner, set a date, resolve the quick fix where you can, escalate the structural issue where you cannot, and communicate back within a defined window. 10 business days is a practical starting point with what changed, what did not change, and why. When the answer is no, say no honestly. Explain the constraint and the best available alternative. Closed loop follow-through is where listening becomes operational leadership. Over time, measure conditions, not personalities, missing material events, avoidable rework, issue closure time, near-miss reporting quality, customer escalations, and patterns in absence or turnover. Do not declare victory too early. A work-along alone does not prove trust, retention, safety, or productivity gains. Test it and measure honestly. The future does not belong to leaders who reject AI. It belongs to leaders who use technology to remove friction while becoming more present in the human system that creates value. Put on the boots. Go where the work happens. Listen with enough humility to learn. Hold standards with enough clarity to be fair. Then come back and remove something that makes good work harder than it needs to be. That is field fluency. And that is leadership AI cannot automate.
It's inspirational when you reflect on some of these leaders that one might consider to be heroes and think about their lives